Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Rant Squad. I am the Water Dog. This is
Jordan.
and this is
Bernard.
and we're going to recap just how we did in our predictions. That's right. We're going to talk about who we picked at the very beginning of the season, and then how those picks have manifested themselves as we go into the playoffs. And so we're going to get started right here. We're going to look at the AFC East, and Clint. Looking at these, we got the Bills winning the East. That's who won it, and that's who you picked, brother. So you got them. We got the Chiefs winning it. You got them in the West. You got the Bengals was your pick for the North, but the Ravens got it. Yeah. And then we've got the South. So you got 3 division winners.
Correct.
3 of the division winners right there. And then we go to, you got the Ravens making it, and you've got the Chargers making it. So they also got there. So only really 2 teams was it. Looking at Jets and Bengals were the only 2 picks that didn't make it.
Yep.
So how do you feel about it?
I feel good. You know, really, you look at the Bengals. I mean, it's crazy. They're literally one game from flopping in. They almost made it. Obviously, the big miss was I didn't see the Steelers coming in and doing what they did, and really they've kind of fallen apart at the end of the year. But feel good for the most part. Like I said, swap out, but to get all but 2 right, and like I said, I mean, I really thought the Bengals. It looked like. Had Carson Wentz, showed up, I really thought the Bengals might get every card they need to make it, and then I would have been 6 for 7. So I'll take it. Not a bad year.
Well, I think what kind of hurt the Chiefs was, I mean, Wentz was only 10 for 17 in that game.
He looked rough.
And he looked
Denver
rough.
came to play.
But Kansas City didn't play any defense. I mean, they had no defense, and Bo Nix looked like he was an MVP candidate in that game. For me, I got all the division winners picked. So I got every division winner picked right. I did get the Steelers right going into it. I missed on Jets and Jaguars. And to me, probably the most disappointing team for me this year is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think by far and away. Really? I really felt like that was a team that, to me, they had a lot of the key pieces. They had some good defensive stars. They had some good offensive stars. But then, of course, you trade Ridley.
They just let him go.
You let him, and then.
But they still drafted Brian Thomas, who was great.
Brian Thomas, who was a great filler, but then they lost their other number 1 receiver because he got hurt for the season.
Etienne, he has fallen off the board,
big time,
just fallen off
completely. And so you're looking at that. So I was really disappointed in the Jaguars. I think of all the teams that I had picked to make the playoffs, that was the one that stunk. Britton. Yours looks a little rougher when it comes to division winners. You picked the Jets, Chiefs, Bengals, and the Texans. You did get the Chiefs and the Texans right. You do have 3 wild card teams. You're going to have Baltimore, Buffalo, and the Chargers. So, you had 2 that missed, but you missed 2 of the division winners. Jets is probably, to me, your biggest miss.
Yeah, I think when I look at this, really, I kind of agree with Clint. The Bengals, I actually really was pulling for them when they kind of turned it around. And when it comes to the Jets, I think hatred like that can only be brought from a place of love. And so to start the season, I loved the Jets, right? And just the hatred you guys have seen this last half of the season has come from that. How'd you win in the division? You couldn't even win your team. To be honest, the team itself, the Jets couldn't win.
But ironically, they've played pretty well. If you look at these last 6-7 weeks, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers has played well these last 6-7 weeks. It just took them so long to recover, I think, from the firing of their head coach.
I think it's that. I think it's a combination of it's the firing of the head coach and it's how complicated Aaron Rodgers wants a system. I mean, there's a reason that things started to pick up when Adams finally came in, and it's taken so long with Wilson. And I heard a stat the other day that it was like, I heard it today, I think, I was listening, and it was Aaron Rodgers' passer rating to Garrett Wilson was like 89, but to Allen Lazard it's like 120. It's because he has that communication and that feel, and Lazard knows the system. And I think that might have been what was their downfall was they tried to bring exactly what they brought over from Green Bay, and it was too complicated, and they tried to do too much too fast.
Who did the Jets take as a head coach?
Rex Ryan.
That's what I hear. You like Rex Ryan?
I would like Rex Ryan.
I'd be curious to see him come back. Yeah. Because I feel like they're going to give him time because Rodgers is probably gone.
I think Rodgers is back.
Really?
I think he's back for a year.
Wow. I would love it.
Who are you going to get? Who are you going to get to replace him
No,
right now?
I don't disagree.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like him back. I just don't know if he's going to be willing to come back.
I think he is. I don't think he wants to end on that note.
I don't think he does either, but we'll see, because I think if he goes, well, then Adams wants out, and then Wilson wants out, and then you're starting from scratch. So
Right.
I don't know. If Rodgers is back, I want to experience vet head coach like Ryan to come in, fix the defense, and let's see a third year of this offense. But if Rodgers is out and you're rebuilding completely, then I think you have to look to start from scratch.
Okay, all righty. So that's the AFC. We're looking over here at the NFC, and of course, our NFC winners in the East was the Eagles. In the West, the Rams. North, the Lions. In the South was the Buccaneers. In the wild card spots, you have the Vikings, Commanders, and the Packers. Okay, so Clint, you got your Eagles right. You missed with the West with the 49ers. You got your Rams right. You got the Buccaneers. So you got 3 out of 4. And then you got the Packers and the Rams making it, and the Cowboys didn't make it. So just 2.
Again, two misses. I mean, the Niners just absolutely fell apart without Christian McCaffrey, and the Cowboys. Injuries are part of the game. I feel pretty good. Like I said, I felt confident with Philly. Of course, Detroit just absolutely came through. I was right on the money with Tampa Bay. I did not believe in. Like I said, Kirk. I was really worried coming off those injuries. And Tampa Bay, man, they showed me something.
What a difference. First 6 weeks, they're 4-2. They beat the dang Buccaneers
twice
and beat them defiantly. I mean, just crushed them. And then all of a sudden, they go on this tailspin that they can't play defense when their offense shows up, and they can't play offense when their defense shows up.
Okay, to be fair, one of those games was really close. The Tampa should have won. Then you also had that, so that puts them at 3-3 if they don't get that lucky win. And then you had the Philly game, which was a Barkley drop away from. So they're so close to 2-4. I mean, I think they just started a little lucky in Atlanta. I really do.
Yeah.
But I feel good. Unfortunately, you hate to see Green Bay's kind of limping into the playoffs. Same with Jalen Hurts. He's still in the concussion protocol, so that's a little scary for both those teams. Watson is out with a torn ACL.
Yeah.
But feel good for the most part. I really like the NFC playoffs. It's going to be some really, really exciting games. I'm looking more forward to watching the NFC playoffs than I am the AFC playoffs.
I just think you got better teams. And to me, as far as if I'm looking at just the teams that are in the running right here, there's not a single team in the NFC that makes me think that they can't win a Super Bowl.
No, because Tampa looks good, LA looks good. If Green Bay's playing well, absolutely. The Eagles, if they're healthy, absolutely. Whereas over the AFC, I have no confidence in Houston right now. I have no confidence in the Steelers right now.
I think in the AFC you have 3 front runners and then 4 wild cards that any given Sunday. But
true wild card.
Yeah, those top 3 in the AFC, you'd put your money. The NFC, any one of them teams could get hot and win it.
Well, for me, looking at it right here, I picked the Cowboys to win the East. I did pick the Rams. I did pick the Lions. I did pick the Falcons. So I missed on the Cowboys and the Falcons for division winners. I did get the Eagles and the Vikings right. So I missed out with the other pick with the 49ers making it. The Commanders, I think, are it's somebody you alluded to as a wild card pick at the beginning of the season. Except you just didn't stick it in there.
No, yeah.
Where I stuck the Vikings in there.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. Hey, I held to my Buccaneers and the Chargers when you told us at the beginning of the year you got to give us the Chargers. We'll give you the Vikings, but you got to give me your Brit and the Chargers.
But the thing of that too is I also said the Buccaneers. I said that's the team I was pulling for the most to make the playoffs. And like I said, I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan, and so I'm very happy for the Buccaneers to get it. So I mean overall, to me, the biggest disappointment out of all of this is the Dallas Cowboys. All right, Brendan, let's go to your NFC picks. You took the Eagles to take the division. They did. You picked the 49ers. Of course, we're looking at the Rams with that. Then you took the Lions, which was correct. And then you took, just like me, the Falcons. You fall into that trap as well. You took the Cowboys as a wild card. You took the Packers, and you took the Buccaneers. So you've got, once again, 3 teams just like me in the NFC that aren't going to make it. What are your thoughts about your picks in the movie?
So I think we're going to work from the top down, right? Philly, I thought was going to be a really good team. They only got better, I thought, in the offseason. The San Francisco 49ers, going into the year, I don't think anybody would have picked them. Of course, we all did. They would have made the playoffs. I think injuries and just the way the season fell for them. Detroit, I was kind of high on. Atlanta, I did think Kirk Cousins was going to come in and help them. I still had Tampa in the playoffs. I just thought a veteran quarterback finally was going to unlock.
He's got to be hurt. I mean, I sit there and watched a couple of the games that they were losing, and he just played like he was hurt.
Well, because you got to look at it. You got Drake London, you got Bijan, you got Kyle Pitts. They had so many weapons I thought he would unlock that would just get them in the playoffs.
But him and Penix both, when they were on, they were on. There was a couple of games, for example, Penix couldn't get anybody open, and when he was on, they were on. Like this last game, even though they lost, they scored over 30 points. I thought Penix was finding all the right players. Bijan was running, and
Bijan
so
was great.
I mean,
I think this offense definitely has hope. Penix, it looks like they made the right decision and go ahead and drafting their quarterback for the future. And I feel like I saw enough flashes that I'm excited for the Falcons for next year.
where does Kirk Cousins go?
The Raiders?
I think this is just me. San Francisco gets rid of Purdy, and he signs a league minimum like Russell Wilson.
Wow! Oh my God! I would love
And
to.
the reason is because Shanahan's wanted him for a while, and I don't think they get rid of Purdy.
Really?
I don't think they get rid of Purdy
They
because
trade him.
you still got him under contract.
He's under
now.
for a year.
Because
Yeah,
you might trade him. I don't know, but you're definitely going to pick up Kirk Cousins for that league minimum.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a 49.
Well, and it helps their salary cap issues as well.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out.
And you actually now have a bona fide backup, which you have not had, which is going to help your team.
So I think with the Packers, just moving on here, I knew that division would get 2 of them. I didn't think 3. Minnesota surprised me, but I did think the Packers would come out of that. Tampa Bay, just Baker Mayfield. I really thought that offense would. And then when we get to the Dallas Cowboys, I now know what it's like to be a Cowboys fan, I guess. After this pick'ems, and so you're really high on your team, and then the rubber meets the road, and you're left on the pavement.
They still haven't decided what they're going to do with McCartney yet. So
They're just going to let his contract run out.
you think they're going to?
So where he doesn't fire him, they just explore other options.
It's hard, because I feel like if he had a year left, you would let him go. Because I was impressed with the job he did down the stretch. I thought Cooper Rush played well. I thought he got his team prepared well.
I don't think he ever lost the team.
I don't think he lost the team. I gained more respect for McCarthy after losing that just because of how well he kept the team together. Yeah, they had the rough game against Houston, which that's to be expected. That was immediately following the injury. I'd be curious to see him back on a 1-year deal and see what he can do.
I wouldn't bring him back in doubt. If I was McCarthy, I would open myself up, and I would think a team like Chicago.
I heard they were requesting
Simply because you need an offensive guy.
That would be interesting.
And
he goes to Chicago.
And I think McCarthy
How
in
about the
Chicago's a
Jets?
good fit. No.
He's not going back to Rodgers. He
need-
wants young, and he wants. The Jets are a 1-year window, 2-year window. Mike McCarthy, he's proven, he's back, he's ready to go get with a young team. Who does Green Bay hate more than the Dallas Cowboys? The Chicago Bears. That would be interesting.
I think that's the fit right there.
I would love that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think Jets need a culture
But
guy. So I agree with you.
The problem with
Rex
Chicago though is they always seem to zag whenever everybody's like, oh, because look at their pass rush. John Fox was a retread. Mark Trestman was out of nowhere. Matt Eberflus was a shot, and then they kept him on. The Bears
the Bears are a poorly run franchise.
Yeah.
They're a poorly run franchise.
Go get a good head coach.
So when they last year they knew they were going to draft Caleb, they should have went ahead and just scrapped the whole thing. They should have scrapped the GM, scrapped the head coach, and just go ahead and pick and start everything fresh. It's what I wish the Giants would do.
Yeah.
Because you've already gotten rid of Daniel Jones. So you're going to be starting fresh. Scrap it all. Let's start with a whole new thing. That's what I wish the Giants would do, but they're not going to do that. I just think that that's a mistake because I don't think that they're going to play well next year because who are they going to have to throw the football? They're going to have to pick up, Joe Flacco.
Maybe.
Who
knows?
Who are you going to get?
I know, but McCarthy will be interesting. He'll definitely be a coach somewhere.
What else you got? Anything else on this front?
No.
All righty, guys. Let's talk about our Super Bowl picks. Super Bowl picks.
Yeah.
All right, Clinton, and now you took Cincinnati.
To beat Philly, and unfortunately, Philly's still alive for that. I was hoping that the Bengals would make the playoffs. I really was hoping. Like I said, I thought they had a shot to get it in. I'll take my victory lap on having the most playoff teams, but my Super Bowl pick is just it's a bust, unfortunately. But I'll hope that Philly can still make it somehow.
I think Philly, of all the teams in the playoffs, show something that I don't think the other teams can viably show right now that are in the playoffs, and that is they can stick a quarterback in there and still be very successful. So if they lose their starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts,
because he's still in concussion protocol.
they can play. That team can play.
They can run the ball and they can play defense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the quarterbacks that they stick in there have shown up
Have played well, yeah.
And so, and I don't think you could say that about every other team that's in the playoffs.
No.
I mean, if you think about it, you got all these other quarterbacks backing these teams up. I mean,
It's just going to be real interesting if we see Green Bay and Philly after starting the year in Brazil and both quarterbacks being questionable after that first game. What if both these teams have to come in with backup? We already saw Malik Willis look good, so this is going to be a good game no matter what.
Okay, all righty. Both my Super Bowl picks are still live.
Yep.
I'm Detroit Lions right out of the gate. I took the Kansas City Chiefs right out of the gate. And I said the only time I think the Chiefs are going to lose is in the Super Bowl. I still think it's the Lions to win. And that's just me. I'm just a strong believer in that team. I just think this is an ascending team, and I think we've got another shot of proof this past week. I mean, it just goes to show you what Dan Campbell can do. I mean, when you're playing third-string players and you're getting them out there motivated to play, to win, this is a team that has bought into the system. And there are two teams to me in the NFL that are bought entirely into the system, and it doesn't matter who they bring onto the team, that are bought, and that's Kansas City and Detroit. I can't think of another team that everybody is completely bought in. Maybe Minnesota, where everybody's completely bought in with the head coach and what they're trying to do culture-wise. But I mean, even in Philadelphia, there's grumblings. Even in San Diego, there's grumblings. I sit there and I go, okay. But culture-wise, those two teams, man, they
look good.
They look good. Texans, 49ers.
Yeah.
And who was your Super Bowl winner of those two? 49ers?
The San Francisco 49ers. And they're 6 feet in the ground somewhere, and I think, I guess the equivalent of life support would be an easy division, which the Texans are on, I think, for 5 more days. And then they'll have their plot right next to it, and they could lay side by side for the offseason with the 49ers. Because, I thought, so going into the season, you get Diggs, you have Tank Dell, you have Collins, CJ looks really good, you get Joe Mixon, they go get defensive line help, because they're like, this is it. Okay, I could see where this is.
I give the front office. They gave it. They gave it their shot. They shot their shot, and it just didn't hit. The line couldn't hold up.
The problem is that I think what it was, and this is just me, and I always go back and I say, you know what? I like the way that CJ played last year, but that is still a mirage once you get tape and you start seeing where he's weak on pressure. And so they should have addressed the offensive line more than they addressed the talent.
So.
But they did address the defense line, because the defense with Danielle Hunter. And
good.
my gosh, I told y'all that was a great pickup. Because I think he had 12 sacks this year.
Hunter and Anderson were great. No. It's going to be, the season's not over, but Stroud's going to need to recoup. And we're going to have to focus on getting that offensive line fixed up. But it also doesn't help. I mean, a second year in a row, he's going into the playoffs, and all he's got is Nico.
Yeah. I think that's really why I think they're going to be one and done.
They got Joe Mixon. They still got
but
Dalton
I'm just
Schultz.
saying, last year they lost their 2 and 3, and this year they lose Diggs and Dale. It's just hard.
Oh yeah,
it's hard. But we'll see.
We'll see. All righty, gang. Well, that's the wrap up for us, brother. That's how we did. That's where we are. And so we got the playoffs fixed in a row, brother. We've been the Rant Squad. I'm the Water Dog. This is
Jordan.
This is
Brendan Menard.
Gang, we out of here.